Hello, welcome to the Grand Prix podcast! It's finally here, ladies. We are finally in the first season opener of 2026.
It's race day, baby!
It's race day, baby! Reem?
Nothing from you,
It's
no
race day, baby! I couldn't think of a new thing to say, so I was struggling.
Just went this silence. Hello, baby. You've reached Formula One's premium line.
Oh, yes.
Calls are charged at £35 per minute, which I know sounds like a lot, but I promise you, by the time I'm finished with you, I'll have you gripping things. I'll have you sweating. I'll have you making noises you didn't know you were capable of. You'll completely lose track of time. You'll forget to eat. You'll cancel plans, telling people you're busy, when really, you're just not ready to stop. And when it's over, you're going to want to do it all over again next weekend. So before you think about hanging up, you better stay on the line. Because here at Formula One's premium line, the entry is free, but the ride will cost you everything. Now, I know it's been a while. It's been 4 months since you last had me. 4 months since I heard you scream. 4 months since you stayed up until 3 a.m, alone, in the dark, watching me on your phone under the covers, enjoying men in very tight suits doing things to each other at 200 miles per hour while you tried to explain to your partner why you just simply couldn't come to bed. I know how much you missed it. I felt it all the way from here. But I want you to know I did not just sit around waiting for you. I've completely rebuilt myself this winter, from the inside out. And when I tell you... And when I tell you what I've done, you're going to want to stay on this line for a very long time. The cars are 10 centimetres narrower this year, and they're 30 kilos lighter. Every single person who's had their hands on these machines say they have never, in their entire career, felt anything move this fast between their legs.
What? Sorry, Mum.
And I've given the boys something new this year. It's a boost button. One press anywhere on the track, and there's an instant explosion of power, so intense that grown men have described it as genuinely difficult to control. They've been practicing with it all season, and they still don't fully know what to do with it when it goes off in their hands. And then there's the wings. The wings open wide on the straights. And then when we go deep, and we go very, very deep, they clamp down and grip on for absolutely everything until the corner is done. Front and rear, simultaneously. The FIA calls it active aerodynamics. I call it a very good time. And this season, nobody knows how it's going to happen. Not McLaren, not Mercedes, not Red Bull, not Ferrari. Everyone spent pre-season testing hiding exactly what they had. They kept teasing you. They showed you just enough to keep you watching without giving it all away. 22 drivers and 11 teams, and not a single one of them willing to reveal what they're truly capable of until those lights go out in Melbourne and suddenly it's on. You still have no idea who's going to be on top. You have no idea who's coming from behind. You have no idea who's going to make it to the finish line. Just the cars, just the tracks, just 58 laps of the loudest, fastest, most aggressively satisfying thing you can legally watch on a Sunday morning with your whole family in the next room completely unaware of what you're doing in there. My name's Formula One. I've been waiting for you all winter. And I promise you, baby, I'm worth every single minute of your time.
Are you alright, lad?
It was Babe Station.
No, I got that.
Okay, cool. Nice.
You need a cold shower.
Yes, you do.
Well, you guys were enjoying it, so maybe you do too.
Right. There's some context needed for this Babe Station intro, I feel. So, when we've discussed a Babe Station intro in the past, the first idea of it was Singapore last year.
Yeah.
And I said, abso-fucking-lutely not.
Yeah.
And that's when we got Patty the Ice Cube, which
Yes.
I think was an incredible intro.
Thank you very much.
And then last week, Iz and I went on a little day trip out.
We did.
And while sat having a coffee, we were talking about intros and stuff, and we were re-listening to the Singapore intro, and she reminded me of the Babe Station intro idea.
Yeah.
And she said, you just never gave it a chance. It could have been great. And I was just like, okay, what was the actual concept? Like, what were you going to do? And she said she was going to make the car a person. And she said it was going to be like George Russell's car talking, but like in a very sultry way. And I was just like, no, that could be funny. Yeah, no, do that. And now you've come out with this. This wasn't from the perspective of a car.
No, it was from the perspective of Formula One, like enticing you back for the new season.
Right. So the demo that you gave me on Monday was
it's
not the same.
evolved since then, though.
Okay, well.
As someone who has no idea what Babe Station is, this is very confusing to me.
Yeah, no, same. What is that?
Oh, yeah, what? Anyway, let's move on.
I think people are going to need to put in their ID to be able to listen to this intro in the UK.
Say goodbye to monetization opportunities.
I don't do this for money. I do this for the love and the passion.
That's what they all say.
Yeah, well, that's not getting paid. No, Babe Station was like a UK TV channel show. You'd have on the screen, it would be like a number to call. And it would be women like sort of like sexy kind of porn music in the background. And it would be like, call for a good time. And then if you called for a good time, they would then have phone sex with you.
Oh my god, now can you please put porn star music in the background?
Yes, okay.
Porn star music. It's just like, in the background.
Are you doing that on pod?
Don't cut it out. You've really become free on this podcast, haven't you? Imagine doing that in the first episode.
A bit too free. Lock yourself away.
Oh, hey! Lock myself away!
I remember on the first episode, you were like, no, don't use any nicknames. Like, I don't want my full personality on pod yet. I want to try and get comfortable first, and now you're doing this.
Yeah.
This time last year, you were nervous, you were shy, your voice was shaking on mic.
Okay, why are you outing me? Why are we not celebrating? It's International Women's Day tomorrow. Like, why are we not celebrating me? What the fuck?
Just wait until we do video, and you're going to have to do this in front of a camera.
No, I charge for that. No, that's not okay. I don't need to see my sexy face.
Just for the OnlyFans.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
No, I wouldn't do that one video.
Oh, sorry, didn't realise she had, like, boundaries.
I do. I was pulling a very sexy face whilst I was reading
I
that.
was watching it.
Yeah, and you couldn't take your eyes off it too, so there you go. Moneymaker.
How do we move on from this?
Like this. Extra, read all about it. It's the Daily Prick.
Following on from the intro, not sure.
It's all the news that's fit to print from the world of Formula One that everyone is talking about. Would you like to hear the first headline?
Yes.
What?
Adrian Newey's first car is shaking its drivers to pieces.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Aston Martin came into 2026. Oh, we didn't explain this. This is the new segment. There we go. Aston Martin came into 2026 as one of the most hyped teams on the grid. They have a new factory, serious money, Fernando Alonso and Adrian Newey, who is the greatest car designer in F1 history. It was supposed to be the year that the 2026 project brought the team more performance and serious results, but the Honda engine is damaging the battery. The problem became so severe during the final preseason test in Bahrain last month that Aston Martin had to stop its program after just 6 laps because it lacked battery parts to complete the test. During testing, Lance Stroll faced the media and said that they were 4 seconds off the pace and needed to find performance before Australia. And team principal Adrian Newey then revealed on Thursday the drivers are unable to complete even half a race distance due to fears of permanent nerve damage from the significant vibrations in the car.
That's crazy.
Fernando Alonso has said that his limit is 25 consecutive laps before the risk becomes very serious, and Lance Stroll is at 15, and the race today is 58 laps.
Lance Stroll also likened it to being in an electric chair.
Oh, God.
Yikes.
Also, he had wrist issues last year, so it's probably especially not safe for him to
Maybe
be
that's
driving
why he said
this
15 laps.
Yeah, and poor boy. Everyone took the mick and said that he was already getting outperformed by Alonso. Everyone forgot about his previous injuries, his previous trauma.
His new teeth are going to rattle out of his head.
New teeth.
Yeah.
Has he changed his teeth?
Have you not seen him? He looks different.
Has he got veneers?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah, he has. I'll show you a photo. Lance Stroll teeth.
He's got so much money. How has he only done this now?
Right?
Look, this was his old teeth.
Yeah, I remember his old teeth.
And these are his new teeth.
Oh, fucking hell. Well, good for you, I guess. But yeah, they're coming out.
Yeah. The vibrations are also causing reliability problems throughout the car. Mirrors and tail lights have been falling off, which gives you a sense of just how severe the shaking actually is. And speaking at the FIA news conference on Friday, Adrian said the team are still facing a critical battery parts shortage due to the underlying vibration problem in the car, leaving each car with just one functioning battery when they started the weekend with 4 and aren't able to fly out any more to Australia.
So there's been a lot more drama around this, including a massive case of the blame game, where Aston Martin have been blaming Honda and Honda have been blaming Aston Martin. And it seems like Newey told Honda to change everything when he arrived, which then delayed the final car design as late as possible, leaving Honda with no time to build their engine around it. And the Honda engine is reportedly 80 horsepower short, running too hot and struggling to charge the battery. But Newey's car design is limiting their ability to fix it, and neither side is willing to solve the problem. And then on Adrian Newey's side, he said that the Aston Martin team signed their deal with Honda with the idea that it was going to be the same people that were making the Red Bull engines. But then when they went to the Honda facility in Japan, they then found out that basically everyone that was working on the Red Bull engines was gone, and it was a completely new team. And actually they think that they were lied to and sort of duped when they were signing their contracts.
Well, they've probably been poached by Red Bull.
Probably, yeah.
Mm.
That would be clever, right?
So yeah, there's a lot of drama going on, and if Adrian Newey and Aston Martin are now talking about the idea that maybe they were lied to, scammed in some sort of way when signing their contract, potentially some legal issues coming up as well.
Oh.
I think when a car isn't performing and you're in a live championship that's about to start, I think the best thing you can do is start pointing fingers and getting lawsuits actions. I think that's the best thing you could do.
Just ask Christian Horner. It worked so well for him.
Oh.
Had to do it.
Leave my goated villain alone.
They just need to get their shit together, because they are not going to do well this season if they don't. I mean, and I think they'll be getting a lot more lawsuits if one of them ends up actually getting nerve damage from this car.
Can you imagine?
Imagine Lawrence Stroll getting in a lawsuit against his own team.
Unhappy at the track.
Yeah, fair.
Yikes. Would you like your next Daily Prick headline?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd love a Daily Prick.
Ah, your mother listens to this. You wash your mouth out. What are you, a dirty pig? What are you saying? Why standing still on an F1 grid has never been more complicated. In 2026, the new hybrid engines removed a component that used to help spin the turbocharger up to speed before the lights went out. Without it, every driver now has to sit on the grid manually revving their engines to get the turbo ready. And with the start lights operator able to hold the sequence for an unpredictable amount of time before releasing them, the drivers are essentially guessing. If you rev too little and the turbo isn't ready, then you'll get a sluggish launch off the line. Rev too much and you'll get wheel spin and lose positions anyway. Ferrari, however, seem to have built their engine with a smaller turbo that spins up faster and more consistently than their rivals, meaning that their drivers seem to be getting a cleaner and more predictable launch off the line, as seen in pre-season testing. So we will need to see, will that be happening in the race? Extra, extra, read all about it. Formula One's brand new season already has a crisis bigger than the racing.
Oh.
What is it?
Well, I've said that quite jovially. It's actually quite serious. While everyone is focused on... Sorry, tone change. While everyone is focused on what's happening on track at Melbourne this weekend, a much bigger story was developing off of it. The Bahrain and Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, scheduled for April 10th and April 17th, are in serious doubts after both countries were struck by Iran in retaliation to US-Israeli airstrikes. The impact was already being felt in Australia, with flights rerouted, a Pirelli tyre test cancelled, and F1 CEO Stefano Domenicali describing the logistical effort to get 3,000 personnel to Melbourne as a very intense couple of days. A decision on whether to cancel both races will be made by March 20th, and if they don't go ahead, they will not be replaced, which means the season would drop from 24 races down to 22, leaving a 5-week gap in the calendar with nothing to fill it.
It would be awful to have 2 races removed off of the calendar, because obviously that's going to affect a lot of the teams, especially ones that have Bahrain and Saudi Arabia as their strong suit, so they're going to be losing out a lot. But also it's very understandable that they might cancel it, considering the situation is currently very unsafe. So I don't think they're willing to risk the driver's safety as well. Like, it's not even just their safety, it's the fact that they might be able to get them in I don't think they'll be able to get them out as easily, and they've got races to do.
It's not even just the drivers as well. It's the rest of the personnel. It's
the fans.
The fans wanting to go and watch the race. It's all of the cars, the car parts, all of that stuff. It's like a huge freight issue in general, just trying to get everything moving around. So I can understand why it would be cancelled. It's a very good point that you make around those tracks being potentially, one team's best tracks maybe, and therefore a disadvantage to them. I also love Jeddah. It's kind of scary, but also kind of thrilling in the same way. But yeah, obviously safety is the main concern.
I don't want to see them choosing money over safety and people's lives. I don't want them to be travelling to those places if it's not safe. Jeddah's great, but I don't want us to be, I want Formula One to have blood on their hands because they're deciding to choose commercialization and the viewership of everything and we've got new regulations, we need to put on a show, this is, we need to get this going. No, I want them to do the right thing. So I really hope that by March 20th they would have decided to do the right thing if it's not safe to just not do it.
Yeah.
That's what I really hope.
And I mean, there was a race in recent years where was it Qatar?
I think so, yeah.
Where there was an explosion at quite close to the track, and they basically went into crisis mode, is the race going to happen, blah, 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 blah. It did happen. And there's a picture of one of the cars on track, and you can see this huge cloud of smoke in the background, and it's so telling. And that's exactly what you're talking about of choosing money and profits and the commercial side of F1 over the actual safety of the drivers, because a lot of the drivers even voiced that they felt uncomfortable with the fact that there has just been an explosion so close to the track, and yet the racing is still going ahead.
And also, I mean, if it's an issue about getting people out, they can technically get private jets and stuff for the team principals and for the drivers, but they can't get private jets for every single crew member on all of these teams. That's going to be a lot of money that they'll be losing out on anyway. Yeah. So it doesn't make sense for them to keep going with the races, especially since they're race 4 and 5, I think, which is very soon. With Abu Dhabi and Qatar at the end of the year, it makes more sense to make a decision on them later, because that's literally all the way in November and December. So it's too early. But specifically for Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, it makes more sense to cancel.
Yeah, I mean, it's even was it Spa in 2021 where the rain was ridiculous, and they basically had the race red flagged for 3 whole hours, didn't do anything, wasn't racing or anything like that. And then they decided to do 2 laps behind a safety car just so that they can issue half points and to be able to say that the race did still happen. And they got so much backlash for it. Fair. Because it essentially meant that, a race did technically happen because the cars went out on track, they were rewarded half points, and because a race technically happened, they then weren't obliged to offer refunds to the guests.
That's awful, because at least, for Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, if they cancel it now, they will be able to get their refunds on their tickets.
Yeah.
But
whereas those fuckers were sat in pissing down rain for 3 hours just to watch cars go 2 laps behind a safety car, and that was it for their day.
But my God, did George Russell praises when that day.
Listen, he worked hard for that. You can't take it away from him.
Are you ladies ready for a hot lap?
Ooh, yes. Are all of your segments sort of innuendos?
Yeah.
Say it in the Babe Station voice.
Are you ready for a hot lap?
Very nice.
Thank you.
Perv.
It's a little bit, yeah, she was a bit weird. Hot lap is the highlights from the Australian Grand Prix qualifying session, all done and dusted quicker than you can say, qualifying is so long and boring, I have plans on Saturday, I wish someone would just summarise it really quickly for me.
That was quite quick.
Thank you. Let's get into it. We've had our first qualifying session of the season, ladies. George Russell put Mercedes firmly in the conversation for 2026 as he stormed to pole position in Australia with a stunning lap of 1 minute and 18.5 seconds and was nearly 3/10 clear of his teammate Kimi Antonelli in second and 8/10 clear of Isack Hadjar in third.
That's actually wild.
It's going to be a long year. Ferrari and McLaren will be hoping for more. Charles Leclerc qualified 4th and Oscar Piastri 5th, while reigning world champion Lando Norris could only manage 6th, over a half of a second off Russell's pace, whilst Lewis had to settle for 7th.
It feels weird to hear reigning world champion Lando Norris.
But it's factual.
I know. It just feels weird for my ears.
He wasn't driving like a reigning world champion during qualifying.
Shady. She said weak jab.
Bitchy. The surprise of the session was Isack Hadjar, the Red Bull rookie who delivered a spectacular debut in 3rd. How did he manage that? What a boy. 18-year-old Arvid Lindblad, who was on his very first qualifying in Formula 1, made it all the way through to Q3 to line up on the grid in 9th. And the shock headline, though, was Max Verstappen, who never even made it out of Q1. The 4-time world champion locked up at turn 1, speared into the barrier, and was out on the spot, leaving him to start Sunday's race from the back of the grid. His radio message immediately after the crash was, the car just locked the rear axle. Fantastic. And after qualifying, he said, I'm definitely not having fun at all with these cars. I mean, you can make up your mind, but I think if you look at the onboard, you'll see I'm right. And Aston Martin had a tricky time with Lance Stroll not even being able to set a lap time at all and will line up P22, and Fernando qualifying in P17.
Yeah, I mean, with Max, qualifying was obviously on at like 4 a.m. And I forgot myself and like screamed out loud when I saw him going off.
It was like a blood-curdling scream.
But it was a shock.
It was a shocking moment. I'm going to react.
It was very loud for me at that early time, I can't lie. I hadn't even finished my croissant. Well, there's drama over these regulations pretty early on, it must be said. Max called it anti-racing. Lando Norris said F1 has gone from the best cars ever to probably the worst.
After moaning and bitching about Max's comment saying, he can just retire, we make a lot of money, we should just race the cars.
That is true. Lewis Hamilton said fans would need a university degree just to understand the regulations.
Well, I'm fucked.
Fernando Alonso suggested that his team's chef could drive one of the cars, and the FIA's response was, just give it time, baby. The rules were supposed to revolutionise Formula 1, but after exactly one qualifying session in Australia, the drivers and fans don't seem very impressed. But because the Australian Grand Prix is in the top 4 of the worst circuits for energy management over the season, the decision is to monitor it over the next few races and see how things go.
And if they don't go well, then what?
They will probably change some things, but I don't know what they can change if it's just because they're all complaining about the 50-50 power units. So.
Yeah, so what are you going to do? Use last year's car?
They kind of can't do that. I mean, F1 are like really trying to like be like, this is cool, right? This is good, right? So I guess we'll have to see the race and see what happens.
It's going to be a bit of a trial and error season, I think. I don't think it's going to be as exciting as everyone was hoping for. I think 2027 might be where it's at. And that's just, qualifying in.
What the fuck are you saying?
She's seen one qualifying session and she's written off the year.
I think 2027 is where it's at.
Everyone's already complaining. I'm just joining the train.
To be fair, if you look at Australian Grand Prix qualifying times, so George Russell for his pole position did 1 minute 18.518. Last year, Lando Norris took pole position in Australia with a 1 minute 15.096.
Right.
Damn.
So we're 3.5 seconds slower than last year's car.
Okay, before we all panic, that is very normal with regulations. Because if we think about last year, we started having people setting track records and fastest laps that were faster overall in the history of F1. So it does take a while when they're doing new regulations to get up to speed. So that is normal.
Okay, so I'll take you back to 2022, which was the first year of the last set of regulations. Charles Leclerc qualified 1 minute 17.868. So it's still a second slower than that. I rest my case.
Mic
Is that a
drop.
song?
Blue. Yeah, all right. There we go. Thank you for helping me.
When the fuck
get
do
there.
they sing I Rest My Case in that?
I think they do.
Come on, Chicago. Let's get in to the race.
I'm just not going to reply to that.
What?
Now I've said the whole point about the 2022 regulations, and then you just had no answer to it.
Yeah, I left her speechless. She had nothing.
But I'm not in charge of I don't work in F1, I don't know. What do you fucking want from me?
You just run the hotline.
Yeah, exactly.
You just run the hotline.
Yeah, I'm only good for phone sex, love.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Grand Prix merch coming soon.
Should we watch the race?
Go on then.
Go on then. It's official! It's gonna be a long year of watching Woody from Toy Story win everything. I don't think I've got the mental health for this.
He doesn't not know humbleness from this man.
No, he doesn't.
His ego is by far
going
the
to be
biggest.
a long year, bro. I'm not sure about this one. Also, his radio message, he did a weird accent. I don't know why he did it.
I know, what was the accent?
I don't know about that. I don't think you're allowed to, just because you want a race, you don't get to be racist. What's going on? It's going to be a long fucking year. Toto Wolff, during qualifying, turned his head really slowly with this big smirk like an evil genius. And I thought, hang about, what's going on there then? And oh my fucking God, Mercedes are going to win everything. George Russell is going to be the champion.
Unbearable.
He's going to be the smuggest version of himself. And he's already pretty smug. I can't tell if I like George or not. I still haven't figured out. But I feel like with this season, I'm going to hate George. So
I figured out my stance on George. My stance is when he's George, he's funny. When he's, in Drive to Survive talking about semen smelling skincare, and when he's talking about male self-pleasure kits or whatever they are, he's funny. But when he is George Russell 63, he is unbearable.
For listeners listening, that's his race number, not his age.
But are you laughing with him or at him when he is funny?
A bit of both.
Because I'm laughing at him.
A bit of both. It's a bit of both.
I think it's a bit of both.
But when he's in racing mode, unbearable.
Yeah.
There's something so overly polished. Like, he's just way too PR trained and too media trained that it kind of comes off really disingenuous and quite unlikable, to me, at least. Nothing he says feels sincere. It's like he's trying to get across a point. And I don't always buy the point.
He likes the sound of his own voice.
I think his favourite food is a word salad with no dressing. That is how he talks.
Absolutely.
But I think it's going to be so funny when actually, it's going to be Kimi Antonelli who's going to be head-to-head with him for the rest of the season, because after this race he was patting him on the back, oh, good for you, you got P2 next to me, my little mentee. And then actually... I think
you go back to your hotel room and do your homework.
But I think Kimi Antonelli is going to be quite strong this season, and I think George Russell is going to turn into a bit of an enemy towards the mid part of it. So I think it'll be so funny for Kimi Antonelli to humble George.
Well, it's very clear now that Mercedes have been sandbagging up until Saturday's qualifying, and we all got flash-banged with the silver arrows out of nowhere, and George and Kimi locked out the front row for the Sunday season opener. George's pole lap was fucking lightning quick, but off the line, he missed out. Yes. He lost out to Mr. Charles Leclerc. And Kimi lost out because he didn't seem to have any battery power off the line, which is another problem with these fucking race starts.
Can I also just say, the race start looked so unsettling to me.
Yeah.
I don't like change, okay? So coming into a new season with new regulations was already going to be difficult for me.
Weird headline.
But seeing how, my brain forgot that they had changed the start procedure. So when I suddenly saw these, what were they, blue lights that said race start or something?
Yeah.
And I was just like, what's going on here? Why are the lights bugging out? It's 5 a.m. Am I hallucinating? What's happening? I haven't slept. I've just been working on my bear brick. And then...
That doesn't sound nice.
What do you mean?
It sounds like you're talking about a poo or something. Can you please explain what the fuck that is?
Oh, it's kind of like a Lego, but it's not Lego. It's really tiny pieces that you use to build a bear.
With a hammer?
With a hammer, yeah.
There we go, as you were.
So I was hammering away at...
Oh God, don't say that! God almighty! I'm never doing anything sexual on this podcast again. That was clearly
Good,
wrong.
my deterrent has worked.
Oh.
But the race start, they all had to stay still for 5 seconds once they got to the grid, and then the lights went out. And then they moved so slowly, except for Ferrari.
Yeah.
They looked like they were barely moving. They all stalled at the same time or something.
Ferrari are very clever with this fucking thing, because they flew off the line. I mean, they look like a normal race start.
But remember we were talking about it in one of the discussions at the end of Red Flags and White Lies, or maybe it was in the regulations episode, where you were saying that there was a video of one of the F1 presenters saying Ferrari have got this really fast start off the line, and then Lewis is just there at the end of the pit lane, just sat really still for 5 seconds. Was he sandbagging? Was he just taking
I said that at the time! Potentially. I may not have said that, I can't remember. I did think that because it was like a comically large amount of time passed before he got off the line.
Ridiculously
and
long.
everyone was memeing it. He probably was. I mean, you got to sandbag a little bit. But I don't think that Ferrari thought that Mercedes were going to be that quick.
No.
I don't think anyone thought Mercedes were going to be that quick.
They caught everyone with their pants down.
Literally,
Listening
they
to
were
F1
fucking
TV or whatever
fast.
it is. What was it?
My God.
The phone line.
What? It's
The
F1's
F1
premium
hotline.
line.
Sorry,
Thank you.
F1's premium line.
Thank you. Yeah, well, we saw that Franco Colapinto nearly had a really big crash because Liam Lawson's car was barely moving off the grid and Franco was coming from behind at full speed and almost had no time to react and had to squeeze through an impossibly small gap at the last second.
He did it though. Good on him.
He did it, yeah.
It's the first impressive thing I've seen from him on the track since 2025.
The shade of it all.
That's not true. I thought it was very impressive during Drive to Survive when he was just taking pure abuse from his fucking boss. Like a fucking queen, actually.
And guess what? He said, I'm going to come into 2026 with my head held high, and he ended up scoring 0 points.
But if we're looking at his KPIs as set by Flavio Briatore, one of them was don't crash, and he made damn well sure he did not crash.
Yeah. Why are we not raising up a king, man? What's wrong with you?
King is a stretch.
Hey!
The Joker, more like.
I'll tell you one thing
No,
that
we
I
need to
like.
stop. We're going to get Argentinian abuse.
No, stop that. I'll tell you one thing I like.
Go on.
He's obsessed with Punch the Monkey.
You don't like that.
I don't want to talk to you anymore, man.
No, because you've actually said
has to talk to you.
you've said on pod that you don't want people looking at Punch the Monkey stuff.
And you like Punch the Monkey, so I thought it'd be a related.
No.
Makes him feel more human.
I think Punch is adorable, but I don't enjoy people engaging with Punch content.
Okay. I can't win anymore, man.
So cancel Colapinto.
Not only is I mean, look, Punch content is obviously old news, but at the time where it was at its highest, the zoo had queues out the door for people trying to go and see Punch. So they weren't doing anything to protect this poor little monkey because it was selling tickets to the zoo.
Back to the race debrief.
Yeah. I'll get off my soapbox, sorry.
So, Ferrari were looking pretty strong in the practice sessions, and then they were looking pretty good in Q1 with
medium tyres.
flex. Ended the session around 8 tenths behind Merck, so maybe not great. Obviously, Charles started P4 and Lewis started P7, but then we had the 5 lights, went out very fucking quickly.
Yeah.
And
so quickly, I thought they were only 4 lights.
I told you that it was just 5 a.m. talking.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
And Ferrari, they launched off that fucking line, bitch.
Yeah.
Fucking lightning quick.
So Leclerc started P4 and got up to P1 by the first corner.
Yep.
And Lewis started P7 and got to P3.
Yeah. I think he could have got up further ahead.
Yeah.
But he got kind of boxed in by George Russell.
Yes.
So he wasn't able to get up much higher. Everything was looking pretty good. What were we saying about the battle between George Russell and Charles Leclerc?
Lame.
Now,
Listen,
I might be with Reem on this
That's
one.
a strange adjective.
It's supposed to be exciting. You're supposed to be seeing them battling it out. You know, Charles got the lead, and then George takes it back, and then Charles gets the lead again, and then George takes it back. But the problem was, because of the new regulations and the new cars, it was just on easy mode. So they were just able to like click a button and overtake very quickly. And it wasn't like seeing a proper battle. It was just seeing, you know, as if someone was playing Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And they're trying to
kind of
overtake
with her on
someone.
that.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about it. So, the new F1 toys, we don't have DRS anymore. What does DRS stand for?
Drag, reduction, speed.
No!
Are you taking the piss?
Drag,
Are you taking the
race,
piss?
Speed.
No!
No.
Drag, race, speed. Drag, race, speed.
Drag, reduction, system.
Why do you always go with system last?
I don't know, I always forget system. Speed is, I think they should change it. I think it should be drag.
It's
It
not a
doesn't
thing
exist
anymore.
anymore.
They have changed it.
Oh. Well, listen, when they bring it back, I'm going to open up a petition.
Who said they're bringing it back?
Maybe. These regulations suck. Max would agree with me.
Okay, so they've got a boost button, right? Which is a button that the drivers can press at any point in the lap to deploy electrical energy. You can use it to attack, you can use it to defend, you can use it all at once, or you can spread it across the lap. It's entirely down to the driver's choice, and it's always available as long as there's charge in the battery. Then, instead of DRS, because if you remember, DRS used to be available after 2 laps of the racing, right?
Yeah.
So you'd have lap 1, nothing, then lap 2 it would say DRS enabled. But this race, it said overtake enabled.
I noticed that.
Yeah, so did I. Overtake mode is the brand new thing for 2026. If a driver gets within 1 second of a car ahead of that detection point, which is normally the final corner, they unlock extra energy for the following lap. So it tops up the battery with an additional 0.5 megajoules and generates a higher power output that sustains speed for longer, and it works best on the long straights. The key difference is that the boost button is yours to use whenever you want around the lap. Overtake mode is something you have to earn by getting close enough to the car in front, and it only pays out in the next lap. So I think what we were seeing is that where they've got 2 different modes of being able to be quick, it did end up making it look really artificial with the overtaking. And also, I had to research this, and I'm still not completely sure what is going on. I'm just being honest.
So what you're saying is, you and Reem, it's the blind leading the blind.
Yes, because I've got it off the F1 website, so I know it's legitimate. But even reading it out, I'm like, I don't really get what that means, because it's a bit confusing. DRS was always really obvious. I think it's all about wanting to get close racing, but what I saw online is that Charles Leclerc said that he's like, it's like a mushroom in Mario Kart. And I think that sums it up. If even a driver is saying it feels like Mario Kart, we can all play Mario Kart. But it did look a little bit like swapsies. It didn't look like how it used to look.
It was just them constantly swapping positions. No one looked like they were really like thinking about where they're going to make the move and how they're going to do it. Are you going to go on the inside, outside? How are we going to defend? Blah, blah, blah. Like most of the moves were getting done on the straight up breeze past, and then on the next lap it was the other person's turn to take it over. I don't know. I think
we need more graphics. I think they need more graphics which tells you a bit more what they're doing. Like, we need to know when they're using the boost mode and know when they're using the overtake mode. Because I don't think that it was clear. You couldn't really tell when they were doing those things. And that was the thing with the DRS. You could see that flap opening and you could see with the timing screens. But even the timing boards weren't giving us the same sort of information we used to get.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't... So I'm like, how am I meant to gauge this?
The distance to the 1000th. Why am I only getting tenths?
I was just like 1.4 and I was like, hello, what's going on now?
How many times do I have to say I don't like change, for God's sake?
Exactly. And if you think about Drive to Survive, Christian Horner was sitting on his sofa saying, you're just blind to it all. You got no data. Yes, we know, Christian. We know.
And this year it's worse.
Exactly.
It just made it more lame. It made it about who can press a button faster rather than actual skills. So it's not as enjoyable.
F1 training now's in the arcade instead of in the gym.
Now, after watching the race, I get Alonso's comment about his chef being able to drive one of the cars.
Yes. So, we're going to learn a new word today, ladies, and it's called super, 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 super clipping.
I love that.
Shining like the sun, smiling, having fun. Alonso hates these fucking cars. Anyway, the 2026 cars have a problem.
Reem, what do you think super clipping is?
Clipping toenails.
You've lost your fucking mind. You're just not even trying anymore, are you?
Okay, listen. You haven't
why would your first thought be toenails?
Because you clip your toenails.
Yeah, actually, for the listeners at home, once I saw Reem's toenails, and they're green at the end because she never cuts
allegations.
them.
That's a complete lie. Listen, at least mine can't make acrylics. Don't know why you're laughing now. You've still got your nail polish from about 2 years ago. She got a French tip. She got a French tip, but she grew it out. She got a French tip, but she grew it out.
Yeah, well, you have to go to the salon and ask for a Brazilian on your toes.
It's called being brown. There's nothing to shame.
No microaggressions on this podcast, please.
Yes, please.
Oh my god, exclusive. Reams Brown.
Ew.
There's people listening. No, I don't agree with that. That's too far.
Boycott.
All of our right-wing audience is gone.
Super clipping.
Not toenails.
No. The 2026 cars have a problem. The electric motor is incredibly powerful, but the battery drains really fast. So the drivers constantly have to lift off the throttle early and let the battery recharge, which looks slow and unnatural and kind of makes the racing worse, as we've seen today. Super clipping is the fix. Instead of lifting off, the car harvests energy while the driver is still flat out, and the engine quietly diverts some of its own power into the battery rather than sending all of it over to the rear wheels. Foot stays down, battery charges, problem solved. Except there's a catch. Because some power is being diverted away from the wheels, the car is slightly slower than it should be at full throttle. So you're flat out, but you're still losing speed. And Fernando Alonso noticed this at turn 12 in Bahrain, which is a corner where the data showed almost every driver was super clipping. His point was that at that corner, there was 0 decisions to make. The car was just managing itself. And he said they could take a chef from the Aston Martin kitchen, plop them into the car, and they'd be able to drive it.
Meanwhile, Lewis is saying you need a degree to be able to drive the car. I don't know what skill I should go and try and learn. Shall I get a degree or shall I become a chef?
No, he's just saying that the Ferrari chefs aren't very clever.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, that was so rude. Sorry, sorry, Ferrari. The punchline was just there. I'm sorry. But the debate now is whether to raise the super clipping limit. That's hard to say.
Is it?
You know, if you say like the motherfucking limit, it sounds like the super clipping limit. Anyway, the debate now is whether to raise the super clipping limit. Currently, the cars can harvest up to 250 kilowatts this way. McLaren tested the maximum, which is 350 kilowatts in Bahrain, and it worked just fine. So more super clipping means that you'd have to do less lift and coast, which means faster, more natural-looking racing. But teams already optimised the current limit. If they then changed it, they might lose their advantage. So the rules might change, but they might not, because some teams might say we don't want to. But the FIA's answer is, let's just see how it goes first.
Why is that the solution to everything? Let's just see how
because
it
they
goes.
came up with
This
this fucking shit solutions. They came up with these regulations. They can't be like, you're right, it's shit.
I can't take this much fucking change.
I'm claustrophobic, Darren. Sorry.
But who cares if they lose their advantage? Like, stop being babies and just race. Not everyone needs a cheat code.
Oh.
Wow. You just kind of like...
Mic drop.
Kind of... Oh.
Pick it up, we're still recording.
Oh. That was my point.
Okay. Ferrari, like, they're second best at the minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have a fantastic start.
Mm-hmm.
Were able to redeem themselves after not the greatest qualifying, let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
What could have cost them today?
The clowns at the fucking pit wall.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. They decided to keep their cars out when there was one virtual safety car. That's okay. Isack Hadjar smoking Red Bull was looking like a fucking bong instead of a fucking race car. That's okay. That's all right. That's fine. Everyone else pitted, yes, but that's okay.
Not fine.
Because then there was another one. Well, no, that's true. And then Valtteri Bottas' Cadillac stopped on track, and they didn't do it. That's okay. Except it wasn't, was it?
No.
Because that cost them dearly. Mm-hmm. And they basically didn't
I'd argue it cost them the 1-2 finish.
I agree. Why? Why would they do it? Why would they split the strategies? And then Lewis was saying that we definitely should have come in, by the way. Mm-hmm. And also then started saying, but also my tyres are fine. We don't have to pit at the same time because he doesn't want to trust them double stacking.
No, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. So
wouldn't trust them making some toast.
I wouldn't trust them in the bath.
No.
So they decided not to pit, which then meant that they basically handed Mercedes like over 10 seconds of lap time.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of it. Just as a nice, well done on being great this year. As if the Mercedes are the last team that need 10 seconds more of an advantage.
Literally.
Mm.
Then they decided to go for a one stop. And they did it at the time where, yes, they could, they made it work because it was, the one stop at the time they pitted was correct. And they managed to make it last. But I just think they threw it away.
Yeah, because George and Antonelli also did a one stop and they pitted under the virtual safety car much
They did
earlier.
under the first one.
Yeah.
So if we look at how many points they bled today, Mercedes are walking away with 43 points for a 1-2 finish. And Ferrari are walking away with 27 points. So I just think, I mean, they're kind of safe because McLaren only got 10. We'll get onto that. But I still think they could have definitely got themselves higher up the order if every other team has done it. You've obviously done the wrong thing.
Look, sometimes there's nothing wrong with copying what every fucker around you is doing. Sometimes you just need to blend in. You don't have to always be different, Ferrari.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you remember Orange is the New Black?
Yeah.
With Boo, and her mum used to always say to her, "Don't be a salmon."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be a fucking salmon, Ferrari.
Reem, explain that saying.
I don't know. I've never heard it. And I've watched Orange is the New Black.
Salmon swim upstream.
Whereas all the other fish swim downstream.
Oh.
So the idea is like, don't be a salmon, like don't go against the grain, don't be different.
Oh, I get it now.
Because you know what happens when you're a salmon? You're 16 points behind your rivals.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's stupid. And also, like, not the saying. The saying is wonderful. But what
Thank you
Ferrari
for clarifying.
what Ferrari did, because it's like, you know, you're seeing the people that you're competing with at the top do a separate strategy to you. And Ferrari should have just copied that and pitted one of them and not pitted the other. Because either way could have worked. You know, it could have worked on Lewis's side, could have worked on Charles' side, but it's like at least you've got a 50-50 chance, and then what they did is they ruined their chance completely. So.
Yeah, and even Lewis, like, radioed in during the first safety car and was saying, like, oh, one of us should come in.
Yeah.
Are we really not going to pit one of us? Even after he said that, he had time to finish the lap, go back into the pits. He would have had time to have done it after raising the point that one of them should have done it, and they still said no.
I think they should have done it with Lewis as well, because Lewis wasn't leading the race, whereas Charles was once George had pitted. So it's like, okay, fine, keep one car for track position, keep the other, you know, slotted in with the rest of everyone else's strategy, and that would have been perfectly fine. But I think they handed it over to Mercedes, and also I feel like Mercedes already had such a big speed advantage over them. They were never going to catch them up on a hard tyre. So I thought it was sloppy from Ferrari. I mean, Lewis seems very buoyed, by the way. He seems very excitable about. He said he was excited to get racing.
Well, yeah, the car is good.
Unk has been working out on social media. I've never seen someone post so many thirst traps on an Instagram.
He's got to keep Kim Kardashian somehow, okay?
His jogging videos before the race, my god.
Oh, he does that every single season. I've seen so many videos of Lewis Hamilton jogging.
But
and
also,
like just sort of deadpan looking into the camera like and I'm like, okay.
he needs to join the hotline. But have you seen after the race as well, in the cool down room, when Charles and George and Kimi were sitting together, and Charles was saying like, you guys were fast to George, and George was like, oh yeah, you guys were doing well in qualifying, but you fucked Q3, and then Charles' face just looked very uncomfortable. And then apparently there was like footage as well of them like kind of having a bit of a fight after the race as well.
Yeah, I could see George was kind of carrying out. I couldn't really figure out what he was saying. But I think Mercedes has done a fantastic job, don't get me wrong.
I just wish they did it for someone other than George.
No, I was going to say I'm a bit disappointed that they seem like they are so far ahead so early on. Because it will take time. I mean, obviously the whole compression ratio scandal will be coming into effect later, but... Yeah, Lewis was even saying, like, we kind of need to figure out what Mercedes have done because they seem to have a huge advantage, and I'm not sure if it's the compression ratio thing. I'm not going to be particularly impressed because he knows that means that won't be changing until August. And think about how much fucking damage these fucking idiots can do. That'll be race 13.
Yeah, but I mean, look, Ferrari have until then as well to take advantage of the fact that they've got these super duper race starts. They need to take advantage of that. Get ahead early if they don't qualify at the front. Get as far away as possible and not fuck up their strategy so they can actually convert some of those amazing starts into some wins.
Listen, Red Bull are incredibly competitive.
Yeah.
Mercedes are fantastic with engines. I'm sorry, maybe Ferrari like being bad at strategy. Maybe it's just who they are. Why are you taking away their heritage, their history, and their DNA? It's born into them.
He didn't even regret it. He said there are no regrets.
It's part of who they are.
Bitch,
it's part of their DNA.
They're brainwashed.
It's what they do. It's the Maranello way.
There was a really catty interview from George after the race he was saying that he's going to be flying out to China with Lewis on the same flight, and he was like, oh, he's probably going to be saying like, oh, you guys were so good, but you might have been cheating there, or you might have done this thing that's illegal. And he said, I'm just going to sleep for the rest of the flight, or like tell him to focus on his own stuff. And it's like he was saying it as a joke, and he was laughing about it, and people were taking it as a joke, but it was quite catty. I think he's feeling a little bit threatened by Ferrari, I'm not going to lie.
I think that he needs to remember that there is photo evidence of him as a child running after Lewis, asking for an autograph. Just remember that. Unk may not be winning right now, but he's done a lot of work for that sport, bro. A lot of work for that sport. And he has 7 titles to his name, and George currently has 0. He's won 1 race, and he is basically like, come at me, I'm the best.
Literally.
But
speaking of young drivers that idolise Lewis, can we talk about Arvid Lindblad?
Get out of my head, I was going to say that.
Was that going to be your segue?
Yeah.
Right.
I was going to say, but he is not the first, and he will not be the last to be inspired by Lewis Hamilton, because Arvid Lindblad's F1 debut went phenomenally.
Yes.
What a great racer.
Right.
Yeah.
Extra, read all about it. Guys, I'm Indian.
Ah!
What?
What the fuck? No, that's a bit sick.
You've been wearing makeup this whole time?
We thought Nav was just your street name.
Take off those blue eye contacts, please.
I am rooting for Arvid Lindblad. He's also an Indian Brit. He grew up like an hour away from me. Do I know him? No, I'm 10 years older than him. It would be weird if I knew him.
That would be really weird.
But I support him, and I really want him to do well. And based on this race, I am pretty impressed with what I'm seeing.
I just want to say that I'm a fan of him, and I'm not Indian. I see past weird thing. I don't make it a
But you're
political
British,
issue.
and he is British.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just nice to see people like you doing something in a space that you love.
Like you. What's your racing history?
This podcast.
Also, not you announcing breaking news you're Indian when your name's Nav.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like...
Just in case people don't know.
Okay, so to summarise, Arvid Lindblad's Indian, and so is Nav, question mark.
What do you mean question mark? I am!
What's that headline? It's nothing to do with his F1 debut.
I'm just saying I support him.
Okay, cool. But just for our listeners, if you're not Indian, you can also support him.
He's a brother.
It's like
Represent.
It's like white listeners like, oh, I feel a bit weird about this now.
Guess I'll support George.
Yes, so Arvid Lindblad was born in 2007, which was Lewis Hamilton's rookie year in McLaren.
Which is crazy.
Which makes him 18 years old. He's the only rookie on the 2026 grid and finished 6th in F2 last season before being promoted to Racing Bulls to partner Liam Lawson. He qualified 9th, made the most of his teammate Lawson's slow start of the opening lap and rocketed as high as 3rd place. And he crossed the line, got points on his debut in P8, which makes him F1's 3rd youngest point scorer ever, and managed to outperform his teammate Liam Lawson, who finished in P13.
Yeah.
And during the race, he went wheel to wheel with Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton and Ollie Behrman, who are drivers he grew up watching on television, and said Lewis Hamilton is one of the big reasons why I fell in love with the sport. And he said afterwards that the race was a series of pinch me moments.
Oh.
See, how can you not support that?
And he managed to get past Isack Hadjar.
Well, he retired, so.
Yeah, but he got... Okay, well, he hadn't... No, not when he was off the side of the track, when he was racing.
Yeah, valid.
No, what are you talking about? No, he managed to overtake Isack Hadjar in the early stages of the race.
He did.
So
He's done amazingly.
he's fucking awesome.
Brown power.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
I mean, he's made Liam Lawson look bad, though, with
He
this
has.
race, because
Yeah.
Liam Lawson's in the same car. He's got
Scrapping
one
Sergio
more year.
Perez.
Yes. Trying to make
rivalry that
himself
never
the main
dies.
character. He's got one more year of experience as being a full-time F1 driver than Arvid Lindblad, and he only managed to get P13 and was not in the points. So it's really not a great look for him. in comparison to his rookie teammate.
Did you see? You saw on social media when Arvid came up to the little little motorhome for Racing Bulls. Everyone was outside clapping him.
Oh,
that's sweet. He did a great
cute.
job. Great job. I'm really excited to see what he's able to achieve this year.
Honestly, same.
Because I think that the Racing Bulls Red Bull family has got a really strong unit of drivers. Obviously, I'm very sorry for Yuki not being part of it anymore, but I do think Arvid Lindblad is one to watch.
I do think it's stronger now.
I do. I do. I think I was sad that Isack Hadjar, he has not got very much luck when it comes to the Australian Grand Prix. Last year, he obviously finished and crashed out on the formation lap under those slippery white lines that were, when people went over them, they were just crashing left, right and centre. And this year, on lap 11, his car starts smoking, he has to hop out, and that's the end of his race.
Yeah, he's like cursed.
He is. Well, no.
Well, he is in the second Red Bull seat, so he might be.
Oh, God, the girlies. Should we talk about another person that has had a bit of a shocker?
Yeah.
For his second Australian Grand Prix in a row.
Oscar Piastri.
Home race. Home hero.
Home hero, on the way to the grid, lost control of his McLaren on the exit of turn 4 and spun and crashed into the barriers, and he was out before the race had even started because there was no way they were going to get that car ready to race.
Yeah.
And he was just done. The damage was far too significant to allow him the chance to join in for his home Grand Prix. And for the second year in a row, no chance to be able to fight for the podium. Remember last year, in the treacherous conditions with that big downpour that came down, he ended up swerving off into the grass, then had to reverse off and only came back in 9th.
Who would have thought last year, but it was actually his good year at the Australian Grand Prix in comparison to this.
I mean, of the two performances, last year was amazing.
No, I felt really bad for him. I saw a video online as well of him after the race or after the formation lap, and him getting away.
Literally, no need to do him like that.
him trying to get away from the cameras and like having his head down. He didn't want to speak yet, and like one of the Alpine press officers was coming over to help him as well and try to avoid the cameras, and he looked really downbeat. So I did feel bad for him for it being the first race of 2026 where he's trying to redeem the title that he lost out to Lando Norris last year, and then crashing out of the formation lap, not getting to see enough of him. And the thing is, like, he didn't come into the season doing badly, because I think he actually did quite well in qualifying. I think McLaren overall did look weaker than Ferrari and Mercedes, but in terms of, like, if you compare Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris's performance in qualifying, I think Oscar Piastri did significantly better than Lando. I think if he didn't crash out and he actually got a chance to race in the Australian Grand Prix, I think he might have been able to get a better result than he did last year. But it's very, very unfortunate circumstances. But same as last year, we'll see way better performances of him coming into the next races.
Well, it's not fucking hard. He crashed out.
Well, yeah.
What are you talking about?
It's like bare minimum.
But I mean, overall, McLaren don't seem to be doing too well. And actually, there's a bit of drama surrounding it as well, with their team principal, Andrea Stella, saying he is discontent with the lack of engine information being provided by Mercedes.
Oh. It's tire water all over again.
Oh, fucking dear.
He said the discussion with HPP about having more information has been going on for weeks, because even in testing, we were pretty much going on track, run the car, look at the data. Oh, that's what we have. Good. Now we react. In Formula One, you simulate. You know what is happening. You know what you're programming. You know how the car is going to behave. Since we're a customer team of Mercedes, this is the first time that we feel we are on the back foot when it comes to the ability to predict how the car will behave and the ability to anticipate how we can improve the car. That's not how you work in Formula One.
Okay, paraphrase it. He's basically saying that they've been a customer team of Mercedes and they've always been able to anticipate what's going on with the car. But for this year, they're not able to have the same level of understanding or communication about the engine, so they feel they're slightly in the dark with their own engine.
Yeah.
Right, okay. That's fucking bad for Mercedes. They are fucking in their villain era. Oh,
they
my lord.
They really are.
Yep.
That
That's
smug
wild.
look from Toto in qualifying was actually, I'm up to some dodgy shit, potentially,
still,
and you don't know about it.
The thing is it might be, like, yes, Mercedes is looking the most dominant, and there's a very, very high chance George Russell will be taking the Drivers' Championship this year, but we talked about it in the regulations episode. There's the whole decision they're going to be making about whether the thing that Mercedes has will continue to be legal or not halfway through the season. things can turn very quickly for them if that happens. Like, they could be getting disqualified after a certain point, and they might actually end up losing out, so...
But the issue they've got is that isn't coming in until August, which means that by that point, they will have done, depending on whether we have Bahrain and the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, if that drops from 24 races down to 22, then that would mean that instead of it being round 13, it would be round 11, would mean that either way, it's halfway through the season. And if they had every single race being 1-2s, essentially, they could have such a huge haul of points that even though the second half of the season they might be slightly off the front foot that they've been on, they have such a large gap in terms of the points in the Constructors and the Drivers' Championship that it doesn't really slow them down much. If you look at how we had it in 2025, McLaren were hugely dominant, and then Max had his comeback after the summer break. Who ended up being the Constructors' Championships winners, and who ended up being the Drivers' Championship winner? It was McLaren.
But by 2 points. By 2 points, and Max was second. So, and imagine if Ferrari is getting that third place on the podium every race. Imagine if they got a 1-2 here and there. Imagine the races where it's like Monaco, for example, and they've got the better start and there's no overtakes that happen in Monaco, and they're able to maintain that position and they're able to win. I think they'll be a lot closer to Mercedes than Mercedes think. And if that happens, and yes, okay, it might have not affected them that much, Ferrari could very much have a chance to end up taking those points and they could be the ones winning.
Yeah, but Ferrari do Ferrari shit.
Yeah, that's true. Can't deny that. They can have all the techniques in the world, the best car, they'll still have strategy that will fuck them over.
Yeah.
Well, on the other side of the papaya garage, we had Lando Norris, who qualified in P6, which felt like a bit of a step back for the reigning world champions, because obviously they were so dominant in 2025, and I just didn't feel like they properly turned up to qualifying, or really in the race. I didn't feel like they were really anywhere, to be honest. Lando came home in 5th at the checkered flag after holding off Max, and after the race, Lando said that McLaren need to improve the car quite a lot, which I think is a lot of people are saying that after seeing Mercedes' performance, but I really don't want this to turn into a 2-horse race between Mercedes and Ferrari, and within that 2-horse race there's a massive differential of performance with Mercedes, so it's not really anything, they're just running away with it. So I really hope, for the sakes of Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, and the fans watching, I hope someone can pull some performance out of the bag for the next few races. Please, I don't want it to just be boring, we want it to be fun and interesting.
Yeah.
Which leads me on to Red Bull. Max Verstappen obviously crashed out in qualifying in Q1 after they hit the brake and locked the rear axles and sent him flying into the gravel and the barriers, which left him in P20 for Sunday. And Max admitted that Red Bull were on the back foot coming into Australia and that they needed to be faster if they want to be able to compete for wins at all this year. He started on the hard tyres, managed to progress pretty nicely up the grid, to be honest with you. But he had issues with graining that forced Red Bull to opt him into a 2-stop strategy and ended his race in P6, which from P20 I think is fantastic.
Oh, it's so impressive.
And he also earned himself driver of the day. But I saw him talking in the race interview post-race, and he basically was saying, oh, it's a fantastic recovery drive. I think you really were able to, with damage limitations, be able to really get a good result and some points. And he was basically saying, it wasn't that impressive though. It was okay. It was a fine race, but I was overtaking people that I was faster than, so it wasn't really that impressive. And he seemed unsatisfied with the result, which I get. And I'm worried that he won't be in the fight.
I think you should worry that he's going to retire.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From racing?
Yeah.
No, he won't. I don't think he will.
I think
he's
he'll be
going
in the
into
fight.
endurance racing.
Yes, but I think Max is like one of those girls that's in the friendship group that's always like, no, I don't think I'm going to go to the party on Friday. I think I'm going to stay home. And everyone's like, no, come on, you need to go. She's like, no, I think I'm going to stay home. And then she's always there on Friday. You're like, why'd you always say that? You always end up going.
I think he'll be in the fight. I think he'll come back. I mean, the Red Bull car is good. We saw it with Isack Hadjar. Yes, okay, he DNF'd for the Australian Grand Prix, but he managed to qualify in P3. And he showed some really good performance. Max had an unfortunate run in qualifying, but he ended up making a huge comeback from the back of the grid all the way to P6 in the Australian Grand Prix. So I think he'll very much be in the fight.
Okay, so maybe we'll see a different landscape for the next race, which is
China.
Do you wanna know who's P5 in the team standings? I know it's early. I know it's only one race in, but do you wanna know who's P5?
Haas.
Mm-hmm. Who would have thought?
Such a non-point. Thank God you don't run this podcast. Have you got anything else to say?
No, just who would have thought? I
Sake.
don't think I'd see them that high up.
After one race.
Legit. Like a full conclusion. Who'd have thought it, huh? all that work. The final point I would like to talk about
It's
before we go on.
final countdown.
Girls. What's the point?
Well, sorry, but can't beat them, join them. I wanted to talk about Aston Martin. Obviously, I mentioned it earlier in the episode, but how did their race fare? Because every sign is pointing to womp, womp, wow. So, Lance couldn't take part in Friday Free Practice 3 due to a suspected ICE engine problem. Fernando did take part and set a timed run and gathered data for the team. But qualifying, the team had not managed to fix Lance's car, so he had to sit out of qualifying. Fernando came close to getting into Q2, but the Alpine cars put in very late last laps to deny him the chance. Yeah, that's right, Alpine!
I know.
So Fernando ended up qualifying in P17 and Lance started in P22. And for the race, the team basically said that they decided very early on, we're not going to be fighting for points. So we decided to just use it as a data gathering session.
Mm.
And I'm like,
that's the spirit.
I'm not being funny, but like their statement coming into this was essentially like, we hope we can finish the race. Points was never one of their targets. So I'm like, I think that's a bit of a PR cover-up. But Fernando Alonso had one of the best starts on the grid. He went from 17th to 10th on soft tyres, but it was short-lived as he had to come in and retire the car quite early. But the team then sent him back out for more laps before retiring it the second time. And Lance also had to come in and stop for a few laps before being sent back out. So he was technically classified, but he was 15 laps down. So this is where...
Rumour has it he's still on track now.
Yeah. Have you seen the AI video of Fernando Alonso like
sprinting?
Running? Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, he might be the oldest on the grid, but that car is so slow, he might actually make progress with it. Yeah, Adrian Newey, the world's greatest car designer and turned team principal of a really, really great team, basically came out and said, today was primarily an opportunity to learn more about the car. Both cars took the start, and when it became clear we could not compete for points, we chose to pit and check the cars over. The team then asked Fernando to retire the car to preserve components. The data and the learnings from this weekend will help us to go into the next event.
Mm.
The thing is, right, it's a bit of a meme. It's obviously going to be a huge storyline that we continue to follow for the rest of the season. But I mean, I don't mean to rub salt in the wound, but this is hugely embarrassing for this team.
Oh, yeah.
There's been so much investment. There's been so much hype, so much excitement, big signings like Adrian Newey, having people like Andy Cowell from Mercedes coming over. There's been a huge amount of buzz from this team. I could never have predicted it was going to go like this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's working out quite nicely for Alonso and Stroll. They're getting full-time pay with part-time hours.
Oh, but, I mean, yeah. Fernando's like, oh, I might retire at the end of the year. I'm like, you're retiring mid-race every race. How about that? I don't know. It's never a good thing where teams say they're going to use a race as a live testing ground.
Yeah.
That's never good.
You're cooked.
But Adrian Newey thinks that they still have the 5th fastest chassis on the grid.
Drugs must be cheap in your area.
If you listen to that and you know the reference, you're a goat.
Adrian Newey needs to stop talking because it's
Yeah.
just going to look more and more embarrassing for him.
Did you see him, though, when he did the fucking press conference?
Yeah.
That man looked like he hasn't slept in 12 months.
Fair.
He looks exhausted.
They took the bed out of his garage and were just like, no, you don't sleep, actually, you work.
You
all
make
the
the
time.
car fast.
So you get a bed when the car works.
Yes.
He's not going to be
literally.
sleeping for another 12 months. Maybe Green just washes him out, but he looked
There was no need.
Like you're doing a fucking colour analysis.
Oh my God, I would love to have Adrian Newey on this podcast, and it's nothing to do with racing. It's like, we're going to find out what your colours are. Are you an autumnal or summer girly?
A better use of his time than any of the races.
Yeah, literally. How to accessorise when giving a devastating press conference. Yeah, I don't know if it was the greenwashing amount, but I genuinely think he looked exhausted. Like, this man is in his 70s, and I'm not age shaming here, but I do think, like, why are you doing this, Brev? You have so much money. You have so much money.
And actually, you're kind of ruining your reputation.
Oh,
exactly. You're not a team principal. You're just a car designer. Stick to the car design. It's all gone wrong.
I'm almost tempted for us to go back to our Heroes episode and just, like, re-edit that one.
Redacted. The greatest car designer is redacted.
Savage.
Yeah. It's like, you know, the Taylor Swift meme where it's like, the old Adrian Newey can't come to the phone right now. She's dead. Oh, sorry. Not like he's died.
He's starting a death hoax?
No, just that, like, his legs, he's kind of, you know, sort of flatlining. Anyway, okay, that was the episode. Oh, no, it's not. That's a
the
lie.
Australian Grand Prix.
That was the race debriefed from your girls. Next up is the Grand Prix podium.
So the Grand Prix podium, for anyone who has forgotten or for anyone who is new, is our little segment at the end of a race episode where we give our podium for the race rather than the official podium that is actually worth points. This podium is worth nothing except your entertainment. So we'll be awarding a prick whose performance was devastating, who basically might as well have not shown up for the race. We will then go on to grand, who did well, who should be proud of themselves.
Pat on the back style
Pat on the back, yeah. And then who is the grand prick of the race, whose performance was incredible, who is as good as this podcast?
Answer, no one.
Preach. So let's start with prick, who was awful, dreadful, should have just stayed in bed. 3, 2, 1.
Liam Lawson.
Oh,
Fernando Alonso, that's poor. It's literally, he retired because he didn't want to risk nerve damage, and you're going to call him a prick?
It's called pussy behaviour.
His hands
Weak
are pitch made.
Right, Reem, who did you say? Liam Lawson?
Liam Lawson.
Talk me through it.
I kind of mentioned...
You're a known hater,
no,
so
listen,
I'm taking this with a pinch of
Let me
salt.
tell you something. I think with Liam Lawson, I've already kind of mentioned this before, I think when you compare him to Arvid Lindblad, who's in the same car, in the same team, who's in his rookie season, and he managed to get in the points, and he managed to qualify really high up, and Liam Lawson did the bare minimum, and still ended up in P13, it's a really bad look for him. It kind of gives, like, you didn't really try that much. You weren't giving it your all. So for me, it was prick behaviour.
Okay, who did you say?
I said, because I panicked. But,
Have you gotten over your panic? Have you got a name for me now?
my name is... No, it's not. What am I saying?
Your name is Izzy.
You're calling yourself a prick?
No, my name... the name I'm giving is Oscar Piastri.
Okay.
Oh, come on. That man crashed out.
Thank you for giving the reason why I'm calling him a prick. That man crashed out, paraphrase from Reem, and I don't know. I mean, I think the Oscar Piastri had a hooner, to be honest with you. I think he looked really silly, and I'm sure there was an Oscar Piastri grandstand, because there was last year.
There was.
So...
Yeah. That not only was there an Oscar Piastri grandstand, but I'm fairly sure tickets were around $3,000.
He's... What a fucking prick. I don't charge anyone that much to spend time with me. No one would pay.
Not even on the phone line.
No.
It's quite cheap.
Only £35.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Per minute.
Oh, jeez. So we need a consensus, girlies.
Who are you
Well, you
going
haven't
with?
explained yours.
I said Fernando Alonso. Oh, I didn't explain, did I?
No.
Fernando Alonso. Because...
Explain! Jesus. Why is it so hard for you to open up?
Well, because he... Childhood, I don't want to go into it.
Ah! Your mother's still listening!
I said Fernando Alonso because he was racing not very well. I mean, he got up quite high to like the
He made
points.
7 places off the start.
Yeah, but he was on soft tyres and no one else around him was. And then he lost them all anyway. And then he retired. And then he unretired. And then he retired again. Like, he just didn't know what he was doing. I don't even think it was him in the car. I think it was the chef.
He was in a car that can cause him nerve damage.
Well, whose fault is that?
Not
He
Alonso.
chose to get in the car. He's got free will.
Literally not Alonso's fault.
He's got free will. Just don't get in the fucking car. Change your fucking car.
You would have then called him a prick for not wanting to race at all.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle.
We've just got an Alonso hater.
Okay, you're a Lawson hater.
I vote Liam Lawson.
Thank you.
sorry to step on your point there.
All right, let's name Grand, who deserves a pat on the back, who did quite well today. 2, 1.
Max
Charles
Verstappen.
Leclerc.
Max Verstappen.
Okay, so I've been outvoted again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Explain Max Verstappen, someone.
He started P20.
And made it up to P6.
He did a fantastic job. Max Verstappen, he's a sure thing. You know what I mean? He's always going to give you something. I don't think I have to say any more than that.
Reem?
Well, he's a sure thing. I mean, just the comeback.
Ew.
Charles Leclerc.
Well.
Do you mind?
Time for Grand Prix.
Excuse me.
You've already gotten outvoted.
Okay, but I still have a voice. I'm allowed to share what it has to say.
Oh god, she said she's Indian and now she's making it a race issue. My life matters too.
Are you saying it doesn't?
It does. Don't do that.
I'm saying Charles Leclerc because I thought his start was incredible. He was so quick off the line. He got into first place and he would have won the race if the strategy hadn't fucked him.
Yeah, but this is kind of this is Charles Leclerc's speciality.
I know, but
Qualifying
we
and having to recover from a terrible strategy given to him by Ferrari.
But
This is what we've seen him do.
We can't punish him for the clowns on the pit walls behaviour.
Actually,
Oh.
he defended the lack of pit stop decision and he agreed with it.
Did he?
Yes.
Prick. Alright, Max is Grand. Okay, and Grand Prick, whose performance in the Australian Grand Prix was as good as this incredible podcast that is gracing your ears. 3, 2, 1. My brother,
Russell.
Arvid Lindblad. Who the fuck did you say, George Russell?
George T-posing Russell.
You don't mean that. Arvid Lindblad. Change it immediately.
No, you say my brother.
As it was the same many, many years ago, it is the UK versus India. And we all know how that went.
I want my tea back. Right, explain
He's even
yourself.
stolen that as his pose.
Explain yourself.
I literally don't think that. I think Arvid Lindblad too.
Oh,
I just
wonderful.
want to say
Okay.
something fun.
Reem, who did you say?
Arvid Lindblad.
Okay, consensus.
Not because he's
Wonderful.
Indian.
But if I was
Because breaking news, I'm not Indian.
we can all play that. Breaking news, I'm not Indian.
Well, yeah, your name's Izzy.
If I was to say Mr. Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Yabba Dabba Doo,
Mm-hmm.
your nostrils are flaring when I'm saying these things.
Can't believe what I'm hearing.
If I was to say Mr. Good Day, Sir, Good Day, or Mr. I think it might be Rain.
He's really trying to have a catchphrase. It's kind of giving the when people make songs now purely so that it could become a TikTok trend.
And yet you both were singing Stateside before we started this recording.
That wasn't
And
for a
you didn't
TikTok
know
trend. But I think he's trying to have his own smooth operator moment.
Oh, you're getting defensive of your mans.
Yeah, exactly.
Your mans who didn't do very well in the race, by
Listen,
the way.
we didn't talk about
15th,
Williams strategically.
2
So
laps down.
Reem deleted that page of the script.
Yeah, that's where it went. Fuck.
Right, someone explain Arvid. No, you were explaining George. Go on.
If I was going to say why George Russell deserves to be Grand Prix, it's because he had a good result for the team, and he's obviously going to win this year.
Oh, so what? You're just sucking up.
there's
Kinda.
no point in calling him the Grand Prix because he would call himself the Grand Prix. He doesn't need people to say that. Like, he will announce himself as Drivers' Champion before it gets announced in the news.
But this is his moment. This is his moment to shine. And I tell you what, I think that there will be a moment this season where he really pulls it out of the bag. Because last year, he did some fantastic performances. He's the most complete version of himself this year. And he sat in his car in Abu Dhabi 2025 and he watched Lando Norris as he won. And he said that he watched it, studied it, so it could fuel him more. And what did he do today? He won! And he's going to win everything.
But it's like seeing your job or colleague get a promotion. You don't root for them.
Yes. Yes. Actually, yes.
Yes, but he also will win this championship with a little jumper thrown across his shoulder and some white, crisp trousers.
Is he paying you?
No,
listen,
listen,
are you on George Russell's payroll?
Listen, I like to be unbiased, and I've been incredibly biased, and I'm just realising it. So I'm trying to level out some of the things I've said.
You're George Russell. You just want to be different. You just want to hear the sound of your voice.
Well, I'm not too sure about that. I do think it was a good result for the team. Obviously, Kimi did a great job, and everyone else is really salty. So
that's quite good.
Thank you.
Remix by Arvid Lindblad.
He's a rookie. He's the only rookie on the season, and he delivered an incredible performance. He made it in the points in his first race. He qualified really well. And he was a very, very strong performer.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Go on, my brother.
Oh, God.
Well, that was the Australian Grand Prix and this episode of the Grand Prix. We will be back in your ears in a week's time for the
Chinese Grand Prix.
China.
Yes, indeed.
It's a sprint weekend!
And it's at, like, the sprint race is at, like, 3 a.m.
It's actually, no, it's not.
Yeah, the sprint is at, like, 3 a.m. and then qualifying is, like, 7 a.m.
Okay, the sprint qualifying, people in the UK, if you're not in the UK, I can't help you. Sprint qualifying is from 7:30. The sprint race is the next day at 3 a.m.
What did I say?
Qualifying the same day is at 7 a.m.
Again.
And the race the next day is at 7 a.m.
Why do you need to fact check me?
Because I wasn't... sorry. Sorry.
I already wrote it on my memo board.
Oh, yeah, I'm always looking at that.
No, but I wrote it, so it's in my head.
Right. But the numbers didn't really fall in my head. I had to see them.
Okay.
You should have written it on my memo board.
So yeah, we'll be back next week, super duper early, awake. I will buy some more croissants.
Yes.
And we'll be watching
13th
the sprint
of March. Is that Friday?
It is, yeah, Friday 13th.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
It's only sprint qualifying, it's fine.
Wait, I'm confused.
Why? Sprint qualifying is Friday. Qualifying and the sprint are on Saturday and the race is on Sunday.
On a Friday at 7:30. People have jobs. They're doing
know.
their commutes. How are we going to do this? How am I going to do this?
I'm going to watch it from bed.
Yeah, I might have to do the same. I'm going to do the same. I'm up and about. What the hell? Oh, my word. Ugh. Anyway, sorry. I'm really excited to be back.
Yeah, same.
I feel like that point got lost.
Yeah.
I'm going to be tired, but it's joy and a thrill.
Hopefully no
Passion.
disqualifications.
What?
Last year.
Of Ferrari and Gasly last year.
Oh, I see. Well, I don't think the plank thing really isn't a thing anymore, is it? They've moved on from that now. Become irrelevant. Oh, no.
If you've enjoyed this episode, you can follow us on social media. We are available on Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube.
In our Drive to Survive episode, we mentioned a little comment from our Grand Prix of the Week, who commented on one of our posts and gave us some thoughts on Drive to Survive. So, if you would like to share your thoughts with us on any of the races, we will be including them in the episodes, and we will be calling you the Grand Prixster of the Week. And you might get a little something special from us as a nice little reward. So please comment on all of our posts and give us your thoughts and predictions about the races.
We also have our own individual Instagram accounts. We are Grand Prix Nav, Grand Prix Izzy, and Grand Prix Reem. I went shopping after the race yesterday, and I was buying some fun stuff for my social series, which I will be posting this week. I'm doing some painting first, so once I finish the painting, I will then start recording the rest of my series. And it's going to be a regular thing with all of the races, so check it out, I guess. This is my desperate plea for views.
I didn't realise we were allowed to just waffle on. Okay. Okay. I was thinking about making a dish for myself that involves couscous this week.
Oh yeah? What dish?
I wanted to do jerk cauliflower with some jewelled couscous.
Ew, she's a vegetarian.
And some salmon.
Remix. anything to add?
Me and Nav completed the Conqueror Challenge a week and a half
on the same
after.
day. How cute!
After Iz completed hers, and I ultimately won runner-up because I had only 18,000 steps to do on the last day, and Nav decided to put herself through 5 hours of walking just so she can try and tie with me. But
I didn't
ultimately,
try and tie, I did.
Mathematically, because she had about 40,000 steps to do on the last day, she got 3rd place.
40,300. We tied. Some people would find it more impressive that I did 40,000 steps in one day while I had also been in the office for 7 hours.
People find consistency impressive because when an F1 driver randomly wins a race at the end of the season, but they fail to score points throughout the season.
Oh my god, I'm Max Verstappen.
You would have had to do it consistently.
Oh my god.
I am Max Verstappen.
You are being George Russell right now.
You are George Russell.
Announcing what you are and making yourself sound greater than you are is wild.
I started in the pit lane and I got up to the podium.
You started at the same fucking place we all started.
By the way, Nav on Grand Prix.
You are
Nav on Grand Prix.
You are Nico Hulkenberg getting the podium at Silverstone.
And what a joyous moment it was. We were all quite emotional. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you like, review, share, leave a nice comment, all of the good stuff. We will see you in a week's time.